Hello, hello, and welcome to another Core Brands podcast episode. Today is a solo episode where I am going to bring you into kind of like a reflection of my 2024, the good, the bad, and what's in between, and what am I bringing with me into 2025. So I always like every year to reflect on what happens, projects and work-wise, but also on a personal level. How did things went? What could have been better? How can I improve or maximize my time next year? So what I'm sharing today is the results of that reflection. I don't think I forgot anything, but maybe if I did, it's because it was not as important as the ones that I'll share today. So I'm going to start with the good because I like to focus on positives. So this year brought so many highlights. I feel like if I can pick a team for this year is putting myself out there. So I did a lot of networking, which was a very new concept to me up until I'll say the end of last year. I was very new to networking. I was happily working on my own little space, connecting online, but now I'm really enjoying networking. So that is definitely one of my highlights. I've done so many events, met so many wonderful people. It was amazing. As a result of that, I put myself forward for the Network Ireland Awards, Businesswoman Awards, and I made it to the finalists. So that's one of the big highlights. Made it to the finalists to the Dublin branch. And it was just a wonderful process, and it was such a glamorous night. And despite me not winning, I feel really proud to make it to the finalists. So that is that. Then another big highlight is definitely my rebrand. So I was trading under by Roberta Design Studio, and I always felt that needed to change, and I just didn't know which name and how to go with picking a name that I wouldn't be bored about it in a couple of years and so on. So I kind of like started by trademarking my process to core and form, and then from there I just rebranded altogether the name. The name is not the only change. There's a lot of structural change behind the business that it's happening, and it's still gonna happen in 2025. But it's definitely, I would say that this is probably the biggest good highlight of the year, because after I rebranded, after I changed the name, everything is kind of like falling into place. Everything is making so much more sense, and everything is just easier. So that is that. As a result of my rebrand, I've also launched a podcast, this podcast, which is a little extension of the brand, and which I am super proud and excited. As I said many times, this is a product of my own work. I'm doing it alone. I don't know for how long I'm going to be doing it, but I know I'll be doing it while it makes me happy, and while I'll have something to share, and while I'll have guests to bring on. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it kind of like flexible and no pressure. Then on a personal level, all the good time spent in Portugal with my family, as always, that's always a highlight for me. And then in terms of my own health, I feel like this year I've made good progress with my routine, with my healthy choices. I've been pretty consistent going to the gym each morning, and I'm now in a point that I feel like it's an habit. It's not that sure that it was before. So I actually am excited in the morning to go to the gym. And I've also competed in two IROX competitions, one in Amsterdam and recently in Dublin. So it's a bit of a personal achievement for myself. Okay, so that was the good highlights. The bad. So it's never a smooth sailing, is it? So I would say that this year was the year where I've had more projects run over the timeline. So people are not coming back to me in a timely manner, which means that the deadlines then are kind of like pushed, and that creates stress, and it really affects how then I deliver my best work. So I would say, like, I would probably need to deep dive on this a little bit more and try to understand why this happened this year. It's something that I do not want to have going forward. I know that it's hard to predict certain aspects. I know life gets in the way, but this year that was the trend. Like, there was a lot of delays, and that caused me a lot of stress and a bit of frustration in my work. Then, in terms of inquiries, there was a lot of ghosting, and there was a lot of leads, but less leads converting. And I'm just trying to keep things very real here, because I know sometimes it's easy to just see the pretty things online and social media, but we all have struggles, we all have challenges, we all have good months, bad months. And for me, this year, it felt like there was a lot of unauthentic inquiries. People trying to inquire just to get a quote to apply for a trading online voucher. And then, I get really excited when I go on a call with a client. And if the project aligns with me, I put the proposal together. It's usually a bespoke proposal, so it takes me a couple of hours to get done. And then I've had a lot of people not even coming back to me with an answer, and I just felt like it's a bit disrespectful, and it's not a good highlight of my year. So yeah, need to deep dive on this and try to kind of like see what mitigate the problem, and see what I can do. Also, as I mentioned on a previous episode, I had a one nightmare client experience that was absolutely horrible. Not going into details in this episode, but I would say that that was a really bad experience, and definitely an highlight for the worst reasons. So if you listened, you'll know the story, and this one I'll never forget. On a personal level, I would say that this year I struggled to keep up with everything. I felt like I was spinning too many plates. I was overwhelmed with life. And like, I know this might sound weird, but I felt very overwhelmed with cooking. Not with the cooking itself, but, and this is a business creative podcast. It's not really about life chores. But like, I felt tired of cooking, and I felt tired of eating my own food. And I don't particularly like takeaway. And my husband is amazing at doing things at home, but he doesn't cook. So I felt like I might live on porridge for a while. Like, I don't want to cook. So I found a solution for that in the meantime. But I was just saying that that was kind of like a bit overwhelming for me on a personal level. And then, worse than that, I had a terrifying experience this year about, I think it was April. So I haven't spoke about it much. I think I shared it on a newsletter, but I didn't spoke about it publicly on social. Someone spiked my drink on a night out with my husband. So we were out, just the two of us, having a few drinks after work on a Friday, and someone spiked my drink. I lost memory of everything, which was and still is very scary. And as a result, the physical damage of that spike, of that drug someone put in my drink, I got a bloodshot eye for weeks and weeks. My stomach was absolutely in bits from whatever drug they put on my drink. And that kind of like put me off going out. We would always like to go Friday evenings, the two of us, just have a drink, just relax after a week of work. And I've been very careful now going out. I'm afraid, and I'm just so grateful that that night I was with my husband and he could look after me. He carried me home. I have no memory whatsoever about anything, which is pretty scary. So I just want to maybe do a side note here. If you are out with your friends, girlfriends, or, men, look out for yourself, but look after your friends as well. If you see anyone acting weird, not like themselves, don't just think that they might be drunk, because that might not be the case. That was not the case for me. And just put them in the taxi and send them home, or walk them home, or whatever it is. Just mind yourself and mind your friends. So, don't want to keep this very heavy. Despite the bad and the ugly, there was also the beautiful. So, despite all of these challenges, it was still a beautiful year for me, and I'm still grateful for everything, and mostly for all the clients that worked with me. And I was able to collaborate and bring their visions to life, and they also gave me so much joy, seeing their business flourish, and getting out there, their websites, getting their business growing and thriving, and also keep collaborating with past clients. That gives me a lot of joy, because I don't like to end the relationship when the project is over. I do love to keep working. And I'm working on a little service to better serve my clients in those instances. So yeah, that was amazing. So overall, I feel very excited for 2025. Core and form, it's just gonna, I'm so excited to see how everything is just gonna look for the brands. I have loads of plans, but I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. I'm trying to keep it, paused, and work one thing at a time, and try to navigate the overwhelm that I think I've had a bit this past year, at least for the first half of the year, I would say. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And also, I forgot to mention, big highlight on the beautiful, my business is turning 5 years, 5 years old, which is kind of like the milestone. I remember when I started, I've heard lots of times people saying, oh, if you make it to the 5 years, most business don't make it to the 5 years. And guys, here I am. Who would know? Like, who would have guessed that I would have a business, and it's 5 years and it's thriving? And I have my own podcast. So I just feel so proud and so happy. And I just want to spread that energy to you all. So go after your dreams, do what makes you happy. Yeah, keep going. Okay, so to end the conversation, and because I don't want this to be boring, what am I bringing with me into 2025? So first of all, I'm bringing, again, my boundaries. I think I let them sleep a little bit in 2024. Definitely they're coming back and reinforced in 2025. So boundaries, number one. Number two, I'm going to tune in again into my intuition and I'm going to listen to those red flags and I'm going to say, ciao, ciao. I'm not letting anyone in my world that raises a red flag. I just learned my lesson the hard way this year and I don't want to go through that anymore. So yeah, I think it's really important to listen to our intuition, and if it doesn't feel right, it's probably because it's not. So just let it go. Then I'm going to continue doing something that I've been doing for the second half of this year, which is prioritizing stillness. And it can look like going for a walk in the middle of the day. Stop working and just going for a walk. Or if my body feels really tired, I might just have a nap. Like, who's going to stop me? If I have a nap, it's because if I need to sleep, it's because my body probably needs to sleep. And I'm not going to be pushing myself to, be alert and be hustling and super productive every day. I'm just going to pause and listen to my body. And I also want to do more creative work outside of client work. So I do have my Cricut. I recently bought a sublimation printer. So I want to do cool stuff. I want to do maybe some merch. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell it, but maybe I can gift people. I'm looking forward to do more painting and more drawing, because that's something that's kind of like back to my roots. That's how I love to express myself. Definitely doing that. And I want to keeping my body. Oh, this does not sound good. Continuing to keep my body healthy, exercising, making good choices, spending good times and wholesome moments with my family. And that's the energy that I want to carry forward with me and for everyone that comes along with me. So if you're part of my world, that's what you can expect from me. A lot of light, a lot of good energy, and everything is just gonna flow so amazingly. So yeah, I am super excited for this new chapter. I hope you are too. I wish you have a wonderful 2025. And I would love to connect with you, and I would love to know what's your big goal for 2025. Let me know in the comments of this episode or reach out to me on Instagram and let's have the chats. That's all for today, and I hope you have enjoyed this episode. See you soon. Bye. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening, and remember, every brand journey starts with a single step. You can find the episode details in the description, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a review, share with your friends, and follow Core Brands Podcast to be notified of new episodes. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating.